Okay, go live. Hey everybody, welcome to the Tipsy Tagalongs podcast. Wow, it took us a little bit of effort to get here between wrangling all five of us who have crazy schedules and all this
setup
spaghetti that you're looking at in front here. We are glad to be here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to taste some wine. We're going to tell you all about it. We're going to tell you about our individual wineries. Not Matt and I.
No,
Matt and I don't have a winery, but these guys do. So first, we want to introduce everybody. We have on my left, we have Gabriel Rubilar, and he is with Chad's Ford Winery. We have Ben Cody. You've seen him before on both Tipsy Tagalongs and American Wine Journey, and he's from 1723. We have Zach Wilson. Yeah. Sorry about that. But for some reason, I was thinking some other name. Zach Wilson from Wayvine Winery. And of course, we have Matt Smith from Tipsy Tagalongs, and I'm Gary Moore from Journey More Often, Tipsy Tagalongs, and I assist Ben with the American Wine Journey. So, hey, with all of that out of the way, this is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to taste. It looks like 7 different wines right here.
Very excited.
Let's get started. Let's you know what? I have glasses here. Where? Oh, they're right here.
Right in front.
All right. Yeah. So who's are we going to taste first?
Where
do we want to start? We want to start with the whites.
Sure.
Okay, let's start with the whites. All right. You know what? I'm digging right in.
Oh boy. So I'm going to slide that over there for you.
If I'm not giving you enough, then just say more. You know, this isn't Oliver, where you have to beg for more. All right, so let's talk about what this is.
Tipsy Tagalongs was supposed to be tipsy.
So Tipsy Tagalongs. So only the Tagalongs are tipsy.
I think that's the perfect time for the drink responsibly.
Oh yeah. So
disclaimer.
Hey, as in all the things that we do, we advocate to drink responsibly. So whatever that means for you, if that means a designated driver, if that means not drinking at all, that's fine with us. We're just sharing with you the good components of all the wine.
Right, exactly.
But why did I look at you, Ben, when I said drink responsibly?
Because I live here and I used to...
Oh, he walks home. He walks home from here. Yeah. So
the definition of me being responsible is a little different than for you.
Walk responsibly for you, right? You have to walk responsibly.
That's right.
All right. So let's talk about what this is a little bit. Now you need to get a mic closer to you, so let's do that.
Yes.
No.
Oh, Ben.
He's not happy with how I'm set up here. Man, this is our 2021 Albarino. I kind of think it's the definitive grape for our vineyard. I would argue it's probably our best wine. People join Wine Club for this wine. First vintage we made was Zach in 2017. Zach's been a mentor for me and helped me get going in this business. And first year we made wine over at his place. And
wait, you know each other?
We know each other. This guy's been real key to the evolution of 1723 too. Obviously, he's the head man at Chad's Ford, but he calls a lot of the shots here at 1723 too. But these two guys, their fingerprints are on this wine too. And it's
mine too.
Yeah.
My fingerprints are on the glass.
I mean, it's
just little boys back then.
Sorry.
I wish I was a middle-aged man back then.
My God, what's that make me?
Back then I was a middle-aged man.
I am.
The grape's native to Galicia. It's got a lot of lemon and lime, the saline. We stop the fermentation just ever so slightly before it's done because it can get real bitter here, and we don't want that. So anyway, it's probably got 2 or 3 grams of residual sugar. Most people don't know that, but it does. And all I can say is people like it.
All right, so how is it?
That's why I served it here.
Yep.
How is it produced? When you take the grapes off the vineyard, where do you put them? Do you put them in a steel cast? Do you put them in?
Yeah, it's all. I eat some of them while we're doing it.
That goes without saying.
This grape is pressed really quickly because the skins are pretty bitter. All white grape skins are generally bitter, but this is a little more bitter than most. So press it real fast and goes into stainless. And sometimes some years we'll do a little bit of lees aging, which is where we leave the lees in the tank and circulate it. This particular vintage, we did not do that. No, we did do that with this vintage. Last year we didn't. But it's it's not this is not not a wine that requires a lot of trickery in the cellar. Or not trick, but you have to do a lot to it. It's a pretty.
So it sits in a steel cask?
Yes, it's in a tank for about 4 months.
4 months, and then it's ready to
bottle right up.
So you picked it in
About September 15th.
And then you bottled. That's why we had to schedule the first Tipsy Tagalongs.
This one usually is our first one.
On an off weekend. We had to schedule it.
And it goes in the tank, and then usually in January it comes out.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's a good taste. So explain to people what's in the taste. So what are they going to? So that's a loaded question because we talked about that. We talked about how to do a wine tasting, what to expect in a wine tasting. But let's set the teasers out there. What are you gonna taste?
Lemon, lime, and salt right now. But as it ages, this wine can age really well. You get a lot of peaches and apricots later on.
Okay, so go ahead.
It'll actually develop a different texture too. It'll start to actually get a real viscous, almost oily later on. Oily in a good way, just real thick, and the fruit it changes as it ages. But right now it's all lemon and lime. It's all.
So you can actually taste how it's. I've never experienced this before. Since you mentioned it, now you've planted it in my mind, and I experienced it. So when I was tasting it, I could actually taste it's a little thicker than normal, and how it could get thicker. So Gabriel, what are you tasting in it?
Well, right now the wine is really balanced. The acidity is still quite bright. 2021 is not an old wine at all. Very, very harmonious. Acidity, sweetness, everything comes together. Very aromatics too. I get some honeysuckles too. There's a lot of floral notes. I'll say like a medium body to me. Very, very elegant. It's very truthful to this vineyard. I mean, I've been around here for a while, and it really speaks what the vineyard's producing here, and I think that's where the value of this wine is coming from.
Okay. All right, hold on. Technical thing. Yeah, you should see us all in there. Oh, no, that's okay. Never mind.
The red light's blinking. Is that?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Sorry, it's on the front, not the back.
Is this like my tractor when the red light's blinking?
We thought we had a technical problem because the screen on the GoPro goes blank after a couple of, after like 2 minutes it goes blank, but we can see ourselves in the front.
Yeah, we're okay.
So thank you for asking that. That's our techie, AKA my wife. So she's taking care of everything and making sure that it's all good. So Zach, what are you tasting in this?
I really like the nose on this. I like the body on this. It's very smooth, very easy to drink. I can see why Ben cleans up in the summertime with this particular wine. I also like the origin of it. I like that it's a Spanish wine, correct?
Yep,
and I try to, in my place, have a little diversity throughout the vineyard. I know Ben tries to as well, and that intrigues me. But no, this just tastes like a very nice, crisp. I got the lemony lime part out of it. I got the peachy pear part out of it, and like Gabriel said, it's still only a year old, so it is super crisp and easy to drink. I like when a wine's younger like that, especially with the whites.
So Ben, you made a comment there a couple minutes ago about how Zach and Gabrielle both have like fingerprints on the wine.
Yep.
How impactful? I mean, the community of winemakers in this area is, from what I've heard in the past, is pretty close knit. How impactful is it to have people that can come out and talk to you and really speak the same language, word for word, almost?
Yeah,
in
right.
terms of making this wine.
It's a big deal, especially when we want to compare notes. But I would also say, too, these guys helped me get going. And of course, Gabriel still plays a role here during harvest, and Zach really helped me get going. And, this is more than just having somebody to call and compare notes with today. These guys help get this thing going, and Gabriel still plays a role. And so, but yeah, it's everything. And I mean, I will say this, in this business, there's some people that will collaborate with you, and frankly, there's some that won't. And it's really nice to have a handful of people that will collaborate with you. So.
Well, and it goes both ways, because I call Ben and ask him his opinion plenty, especially out in the vineyard. Ben is the mad scientist out in the vines. So
I feel that's one of the guys that really is putting, a step in the heart into the vineyard, and that's what this region, at least for me, is lacking at the beginning. Really putting more or extracting more information what each area has to offer, and trying to develop that instead of trying to come out with something that's completely different.
Yeah, I don't know why your mic's not coming through right now, but
It's not coming through.
yeah. So if you get
We can share, man.
get up on it, yeah. So yeah, actually, it would share. So that might be the way to go. All right. So who wants to go next?
Yeah, which direction?
You want to open up the Chardonnay Barrel Select, or do you want to go with one of
White
yours?
with me too. Yeah, we got a Gruner Veltliner. So
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
can I get the wine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's go for the wine opener. So we're gonna, careful with the wine opener.
Actually, I just wanted to have this micro.
Yeah, that's fine.
I disconnected from
That's
here.
fine. Do you guys want to share? Is that
Yeah, I
a
mean,
problem?
it
Because I
doesn't
think I don't know.
definitely
I don't know what's going on with those mics, but
We definitely can.
I don't want the sound to be sacrificed
We can
on
kind of
this.
put it in the middle here.
Yeah.
Maybe we just don't speak loud enough.
No, I think I think.
That's all we did.
I've been told I yell a lot, so it's actually okay.
And guess what's
Use some distance.
Guess what's going to happen now? See, all the
Yeah, it
background
sounds a lot
noise comes
better,
out.
yeah.
So, all right. So I think we're going to be okay. You guys good on sharing that?
We're good.
Yeah, I took those out. I'm like, you know what? Well, let's just deal with this.
We can just let
You're
them
like
do that.
really close. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That
Just.
scene on the
Thank
what's that
you.
movie where they
Gary.
kill all those?
Is that
people,
mine?
like-
Yep.
Okay. Whose is this?
I want to see that.
Whose is this?
What movie? Is that?
That's it can be yours. I need one, but you can.
I already got one. I went in my old
Do
one.
that for Ben.
All right. So we got this is what describe it while we're pouring.
Yeah.
This is our Gruner Veltliner.
Well, this is.
So this is an Austrian white, and actually I was between the
There you go. Yeah.
Albarino that Ben planted and this Gruner Veltliner back in the day when we were planting grapevines, and just kind of went with it on a whim. It's a little bit more cold hardy, can handle our region
Okay.
a little more. And back in the beginning, that was as simple as it was for us trying to pioneer planting grapevines out here, and kind of just went with it. Real happy. We get a very big, luscious grape out of this. It reminds me of something more like a Barbera rather than a petite Cabernet grape. So lots of yield on it. You can really get the grassy, earthy notes coming through. We ferment everything to dry. This wine was full cluster pressed. Basically, as soon as we harvest the grapes, they come right out of the vines. We put them right in the press, and the juice comes out, within an hour or two of harvest. So that really allows us to get the freshest fruit coming through, and that's kind of as simple as we keep it. The tasting notes, you guys tell me what you get on it, because
Should we?
I don't run the tasting room as much. I know what I want the wine to taste like throughout the process, but I don't have those. Is it lime? Is it lemon?
I'm not big on them either.
So whatever you guys.
I really
We
like
can put you guys right like that.
I think it's this one has a great acidity. Again, this region, that's what we are.
The acid, yeah,
But
definitely.
the spice notes that I'm getting is very prominent. There's a ton of it. There's some grassy components that you mentioned. To me, it reminds me a little bit of almost like an oregano, fresh oregano.
Yeah.
The mouthfeel is different. This one is leaner, fresh, but it's nice and smooth. There's like a balance that it takes you from point A to B, like in a good way. Finish is medium to long. Yeah, it's a wine that you can have it with pretty much everything.
I love
Very, very
I love the
elegant.
finish. I love how it's back.
Yeah.
You can taste it on the back of your tongue, and I love that in the wine. It goes all the way back, and I get a little bit of green apple too. But yeah, it's just grassiness
And I will agree with the most of our whites, and I see it come through in your vineyard as well out here. Acidity is the main thing we're working with out here. We got a very good acid, complexion going on with our wines, and all the whites you can definitely see the acidity coming through in it. So.
Yeah, but but it's not overriding at the same
No,
time.
I think it's
Which
great.
is good. I think it adds to the flavor, but it doesn't take over the wine itself,
Well, this
which is really
this
good.
a great wine. Rydell makes a specific glass for Gruner too. And
No, and I think
I would love that. I think it would be
from
even more
what I've-
sophisticated if we had that here, the glass for it.
yeah, and from what I've seen, I think that you're going to see a lot of Albarino and Gruner in the next like 10 years, like in this area. But I've been seeing a little bit more lean towards Gruner. Like people
for
are having
sure.
very
Yeah.
good success with growing it here. They're very
Yeah.
happy with the yields. I think that you're going to start hearing more of those like these varieties that you're not as familiar with.
I think Zach's right. I mean, Gruner has a lot of advantages over Albarino and the vineyard, just based on what I've observed. I don't grow it, but I mean, Albarino is a downy mildew magnet, and that really impacts your yields. And so,
Yeah, but the Gruner is a little bit of a sour rot magnet if it's too hot.
Right?
You know, we can
So-
trade that off. I bet you the
grass,
Albarino.
the grass is always greener on the other side of these vineyards. Like Zach is not dealing with this shit.
I'm sensing.
Why didn't I plant that? Why did I plant what he did?
Yeah. I'm really feeling
with all of them.
a friendly but competitive vibe going
No,
on
no,
here.
it's
yeah.
not competitive. It's more envious. You know, like I look at all my problems, think, well, he doesn't have those. And he's thinking,
Well,
I got all these other problems that he doesn't have. And the reality is, it's hard to do. Either stuff, the other stuff is easy.
But that's what we've talked about, in some of our previous podcasts. Growing wine is so difficult sometimes. It's trial and error.
Yeah.
And you buy a different variety or varietal and you try it. And sometimes you get a great yield, but you don't get much. As far as, the grapes are great, but you get like this little bit of wine, you might get like 12 bottles or something.
But you just hit it. It's trial and error,
Yeah.
and we're first generation growers in
That's
this
right.
area. Where
Exactly.
you got Napa Valley with 3-4 generations. You got France with 12 generations,
Yeah, yeah.
and like we're going into our second generation here, and there's a lot more people trying to pioneer making high quality wine in
Yeah.
this region,
Yeah.
and we're happy to be part of it.
But to be the front runners requires a lot of trial and error because
Hopefully with very little error.
well, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But and with that, okay, so you say hopefully with very little error, but some of that, some of that trial is calculated. You know what grapes grow well in other similar environmental conditions, so it's not. It's less of a risk, so to speak. And then when you find one that's like goes gangbusters, then you really lock in.
Yeah,
And
but then you have customers wanting something else.
Right.
yeah,
You gotta find something.
right.
So that's
And then
something
you're
that-
back again.
That's something. I mean, now that I met Zach previously because my wife and I have been to Wayvine a bunch. We actually got engaged drinking your wine.
I believe you and I met at Wayvine.
So there's like a lot of history for me with
Wait.
Wayvine. So I've been there a lot, had a lot of the wine, and we've talked a little bit about like the region and the area and everything. And it's one of those things that makes me think. When I used to work at the tourism company, we had people coming in that were just specifically coming in to try the wine in the area,
Yeah.
and you had people that were coming in from California talking about how great the wine is after they tried them all.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that still need to be convinced how great the wine is here. What is it about this region in your minds that makes it so appealing to people?
Oh,
Stumped them.
that's a tough one, right?
Stumped them.
I mean, we got our own terroir.
Yeah, it's
And we're not irrigating a desert. Like,
True.
everybody's got this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing
True.
of Napa Valley that's where all the wine comes from. But
Yeah.
they deal with rain and the same climate we do over in France. We're kind of right on the same.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Same
That's true.
little, so I think people are just becoming educated that there's a little bit more wine out there
And
than
that-
just
that
what
good
the
wine-
Napa Valley
yeah.
wine that we've been told. You know, they're getting away from all the barrel aged, heavy oaking, and like they're wanting to see a little more flavor and terroir coming through
Which,
with their wines.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're seeing the same thing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. People tired drinking those great big Napa cabs and probably overpaying for them too. And they're just Tannenbaums. And anyway, yeah, people want something different for sure.
But a good wine is a good wine. So the key is okay. How do you?
And I think that here we're able to grow more than just, we're growing an Albarino, a Gruner, a Riesling, Merlot. We haven't even dived into the hybrids you can grow here. So like we can grow an endless amount of grapes here, and it's if we can make good wine out of all of them, then we got a variety to choose from.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of I never got into blends in the beginning because I didn't want to waste all my wine blending it together and only having 2 things for the customers to choose from. I'd rather have 6 or 7 different wines for them. Yeah. Now that we have enough, we're getting into the blends and stuff, but we want to have variety. There's something for everybody out there. And
well, that's the key. I think you were saying, okay, well, you got to, so you could grow great grapes, you can make like phenomenal wine, but if they come in and you're offering a Cab Sauv and they want a Merlot, well, you're out of luck, right? So you gotta figure out, okay, so what's the market going to bear, as well as what the terroir bears, because it's got to be a grape that you can use in this area, and it's got to be something people like in this area at the same time. So if the specific grape that they can't, if the specific grape they're looking for cannot be grown here, then you got to find another grape that's similar enough that they're going to be satisfied with that. Can we jump into the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry.
No. So
I don't want to slow us down and make sure everybody gets equal time here.
yeah, y'all can have more time.
Oh no, I'm just sliding it over to.
This is you?
Yeah. I don't want to miss out on it.
I'll say that, at least the East Coast, there's a lot of variation with hybrids. And there's a lot of wines who are performing like other varietals on this region. So, I mean, there's options, and that's part of our business. We cannot just, dream with the wines that we made in the past. We need to dream with the wines that we're making next vintage. We always keep it interesting. For us, because this is a labor of love, but especially for the customers, it's always bringing something exciting, something new for them to trial.
Right.
Yeah, because if
the region has it, it's just it's proven that we're going in that direction. So
and that's what I like. I think people are just now discovering. So because that's how the second generation came along, because people were like, oh, wow, they can actually grow grapes in this area.
Well, if you go over to Italy and you drink wine over there, you might come across like a Barbera or a Nebbiolo, you're familiar with that grape. But when you start drinking wine over there, you're drinking all these grapes and you've never even heard of the varieties before.
Right.
And we have the capability of growing grapes specific to this region, and once the customers come around and they want to start drinking more of the hybrid wines and we start making good wines out of them, like it'll be a lot easier on us as growers, that's for sure.
So that'll be exciting when the region comes becomes something that is very similar and very noteworthy in addition to. So it's not that, good wine isn't noteworthy, but if you can produce a wine that can't be produced somewhere else, that's, or that they say, oh my God, they produce this wine, we now want to produce it. Yeah. So when you start working in that direction, I think that's a great point. Because
good for the growers, bad for the people that enjoy the wine.
Yeah. Well,
like me. Well, then you get too many people coming and enjoying. Like I like that I can go out right now. I like that I can go out to these vineyards and sit down and have a glass of wine that people don't know about and it's not crowded yet. Oh. But also at the same time, we want it to be crowded and people come out and try the wines and everything like that. So it's a catch-22 for me.
All right, I'm throwing.
I'm a little selfish.
I'm tasting a little clove in here.
I mean, we should. Yeah, let's talk about. Lay it on. Tell us about this wine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but great conversation. But this, we got to talk about the wine once in a while too.
Good. So this is 2021 Chardonnay Barrel Aged Select. This actually is produced in Chatsford. It's coming from Wayvine Vineyards. It's a grape that the moment that we're tasting, I remember it just had the potential. Actually, we subdivided this batch in two. I like the ones where they're like crispy and like they don't have oak influence.
Right.
But usually you don't get to see things like this type of wine with such a volume, sweetness, and alcohol. Everything was up par to withstand a barrel aging. So it was aged for 6 months on French oak, and I have some actually Hungarian oak throughout there. It's a very small batch, and I found it appealing. It's a wine that I like to drink. Medium body again. The aromatics of what a Chardonnay should be, they're there. You can find that's actually as the wine, if you let it warm up, evolves and other components are starting to shine. We did half malic fermentation or malolactic fermentation, so I wanted to retain some of that acidity. And this is what it turns out to be.
Excellent. Yeah, it has a good. Yeah. I mean, the first two were good. This one's good. The finish, you can really bring that home. It has a great smell, great flavor. I did taste the clove. I don't know if anybody else does, but
no, again, spices and that's what when you're look. So you have French, American, and Hungarian oak, right? I think Ben already talked about this on a previous podcast that Americans are the ones that brings all the sweet vanilla, coconut, and all that.
Right.
But then all the French, we're working with a tighter grain, denser wood, and everything's segregated so like almost by day you're detecting changes. On an American oak, everything happens in the first 2 months, and then you're begging for that to disappear as it goes away.
Right.
But all the spices were brought out by Hungarian, which is Eastern European oak as well. Mm-hmm. It's almost like in between of a French and American oak. But that was key to bring a little bit more spices, since the wine already has a bunch of sweet characteristics from itself from the second fermentation.
Now, you don't actually put the spices in.
No.
The oak.
One time,
right?
I remember this. I was in,
sorry.
So I was in.
Sorry.
I'm from Mendoza, Argentina, right? And I was helping on a tour, right? And after we finished the tour, this lady comes to me and she's like, "So when is the part that you guys add the chocolate to the wine?"
Right?
Like,
yeah.
Well, you missed it. We were like,
it was. Yeah.
I never told the truth, but no, those are aromatics that you develop by the oak, because there's different level of toast.
Exactly.
And that's where you get all those components.
And I brought it up because because people don't often realize, hence your comment, people don't often realize you actually don't throw those spices into the wine to make it like that, unless it's like a literal spiced wine.
There's some
for the holidays, that can happen.
Yeah, but there are some wines that do, and I feel we're gonna taste it later with your PV, right? That brings those characteristics, the molasses, all that it's just by the varietal and by what the region is offering. But
so it's important. So here's the takeaway: when you taste leather in a wine, nobody put an old shoe in there. Okay, it's just the flavor of the wine and how it boldens up as it's in probably a heavily toasted cask.
So don't look for a rack of boots, basically.
Rack of boots, right? There's no rack of boots back here, so
in a winery, everything is like pristine, clean, and
you should be able there is a Department of Health. The Department of Health regulates this stuff pretty heavily, and everything's up front and doing well. But so that's like pretty awesome. So what are you tasting in this one?
I really like the balance of oak on the nose and on the finish of the wine. I guess I can get the clove through there. Get a little bit of vanilla notes and stuff. But it just seems like a very balanced Chardonnay. Definitely hit the right amount of oak on it.
So some Chardonnays that are oaked, you can taste, it's like overwhelming the influence of the oak. So you want to, and that balance is really important, and that could be why.
Were these brand new barrels, or did you have Chard in them from previous years?
So the Hungarian was used, and French are new.
Yeah.
So that's
Nice.
where we kind of
Wait, did you,
balance a bit.
so that was the 2 batches, or did you?
It's one batch of different barrels, so
Okay.
everything gets combined.
Got. Oh, see, and there it is.
He made more than one barrel.
Yeah. So
did.
yeah. Imagine that, a winery making more than one barrel.
If you guys have the opportunity to ever come to a blending tasting or anything on any of the wineries out, I would extremely recommend it because you're gonna have a lot of fun and it's
Right.
it's incredible how much a wine changes when you start adding like 5 this, 20 of this. You can really create something that's unique.
Yeah. So, and that's a good point. So, don't forget, all of these wineries are open for people to come and taste wine. We're just tasting here so that you can gain a little bit of insight when you go out and taste yourself. So, we're encouraging you to do that because there's great tastings at all 3 of these wineries. We'll be at some other wineries, in the future. But the reality of it is, you're looking at these wines and you're thinking, man, I could. So, all 3 of these wines, by the way, are great they're standalone wines. You don't have to have food with them. Although, Ben and I were going to talk later on about, pairing wine with food and food with
that's
wine.
what I heard. You're gonna give us some free food here. That's why I came.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sweet. So, yeah, that'll be another day.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So I said to my wife, "Do we have crackers?" And she goes, "Yeah, we got this." So she goes, "There's some Ritz crackers in the." I'm sorry, dear.
I mean, Sarah's got some up there, but you have to buy them.
Yeah. But I was going to bring
She's
them.
not going to give them to you.
And there was the only thing in the Ritz box was an open sleeve of crackers, and I was like, maybe not. We have to buy some new ones. She goes, you should have told me. I said, that's my fault. I agree. Anyway, so all 3 of these are really, really nice standalone wines, but you could drink them with food as well. Again, we'll talk about that at a different stage. Should we open up the next one? Who's going next? And what I want to do is I want to line the bottles up in the order that we've actually opened them. So the Albarino went first, right?
Yep.
And then the vet liner?
Cork back in there before we have a screw up.
Yeah. So the Albarino went there. Are we going to go? We can go either way, but make sure the labels are out so everybody can see what they want to buy when they.
Here's your cork.
There we go. All right. So now we're going to go with.
Well, I'm the only one that needs to open them with corks at this point.
Yeah.
That's
Zach
true.
Zach and Gabe need to go now.
Okay,
I don't have a rosé.
Gabriel is going to share with us the Redux Rosé. It's called Redux?
Yes.
But it's a rosé.
It's a rosé.
Okay, but it's not called Redux Rosé. It's just Redux. Okay.
That's just the name of it.
Just the name of it. Yeah. This is actually
It's not a technical thing.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like it should be, right?
Gabe's really good at naming wines. No, I mean seriously.
Yeah, he actually
This
is.
guy that coined the term "Viva la Rosa."
Oh, that's true.
You're pretty good at
That
it.
was I should have kept that one.
And on this side, if I'm pouring,
No, you should.
don't hesitate.
You should have
to ask for
copyrighted
more.
that. That one was a
Okay,
good one.
do me a favor.
Too bad it's at
Zach,
another winery.
Throw that one in line.
Also, not complaining about it, but I've noticed, Gary, as we're getting further into these.
Yeah, we're pouring heavier.
You're getting a heavier.
Yeah, I'm getting a heavier
Again,
hand.
not complaining. Just noticing.
Thankfully.
Barbara, we have espressos you can have to go.
Espressos to go.
Sobriety program here.
Yeah.
Make Gary do 2 of them.
If you're planning to put your own vineyard, that's a must. You need to have a good espresso machine.
Yeah, he knows. I have to keep the crew going when we're doing all this
Yeah.
stuff. Hey, you want one?
Yeah.
We use beer.
Yeah.
That's a motivator. That's definitely a motivator.
More the liquid meth kind of.
Is it that you just take the cooler out into the into the
Oh
vineyard?
no!
There's not even a cooler they get consumed.
It's just I got it.
Harvest over at Wayvine is fun, and people can actually participate in that at Wayvine.
Yeah, I might actually volunteer for that. That's for sure.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
All right, so
really fun.
so talk to us about this particular Redux Rosé. It's a dry rosé.
It is. So this is almost like. So this is made out of 100% Steuven, right? And Steuven has been used for a long time to produce Sunset Blush, a sweet wine. So when I joined them, I felt the extremely need to just try to remove that varietal from that box, like, Erie
Nice.
grapes and things like that,
Yeah,
or East
yeah.
Coast must be a sweet wine. It is not. I mean, it's proven that our region can produce excellent rosé, white, and red wine. So I was like, it's gonna happen with this guy too. And it's one of the easiest wine to make, at least for me. Because as long as you just keep it nice, clean fermentation, just let it express what the varietal has to offer, and it shows this. So it's a wine that's very bright, has a ton of hibiscus. There's like cherry, there's like lollipops, strawberries. It's like very, very aromatic. It's a red grape. It's a hybrid. Hybrid means that when you put two varietals together to either withstand better conditions through the location where that vine is planted, or is a very better disease resistant. It could be, but this grape is coming from up north. Actually, it's overlooking Lake Erie, one of the best views that I've seen. And it just expressed against the region, like cold climate, harsh winters, and the acidity is there. And we wanted just to bring that to the table and just
Exploit that in a good way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's a great rosé. I like dry, by the way.
I love dry too.
And people are literally warming up to that now. It used to be the people, when they drank a rosé, they wanted it sweet. And they've almost gone the other direction. They want it dry and almost really dry. So when you ask for a rosé in a restaurant, it's more likely they're going to have dry offered than they will sweet now, which before it was sweet.
Yeah.
and
when you start, when everything is sweet, I mean, it's great. We do produce wines that are sweet. Like Alvarinho, that tiny bit makes the huge difference, right? Everything. I don't want to catalog a wine to be bad just because it's sweet or because it has
I agree.
a residual.
I agree.
It's just it's different, and that's what you need to, or at least I would like everybody to just see it as wines are meant in a certain way to create different experiences or to be used in different ways. Some wines
Yes.
are good as standalone. Some wines are great for, pairing with food or whoever that doesn't like wine. But sometimes when you do add sweetness to it, you kind of miss almost like the identity of that varietal. For example, this wine, at least to me, the acidity, we've been talking about acidity, but there's certain acidities that are like brighter, milder, or more, I call it saltiness, and that's what this
Right.
wine has.
It definitely has.
Here is not, it's there, but it's more like salty. There's like,
Right.
there's more minerality in it that plays part of, foundation of the wine.
Right. That's great. And to your point earlier, it's not that wines are good or bad. It's that a good wine is a wine that you like.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the key. If you like it, it's a good wine. So you gotta focus on that. And there are a number of great sweet wines out there. So all right. So this is me. I don't prefer sweet wines, but I don't mind a sweet wine under the right context for
I
myself.
want to take you on a journey of the sweet wines.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? I'm up for that.
And we're gonna end it up on Moscato.
I'm in the same. I'm in the same.
I get you.
I'm in the same boat. I typically drink like the drier wines. I'm not a sweet person in any sense. Like I'm not a big like dessert person.
You're not a sweet person.
No,
Okay.
it's rough.
We'll keep that one out of the conversation.
But no, like I'm not like a dessert person.
Yeah.
I'm not a candy person. Like so, in pretty much everything I do, like I prefer like the savorier tastes over the sweet.
Right.
tastes.
Okay. So and that makes sense, and I don't, and I will welcome that journey, to be honest with you, because I went to a winery a year and a half ago in Oregon, and the tasting menu was 5 Pinot Noirs, and I swear I didn't know how they did it. but every Pinot Noir tasted different than the other one, and it was actually a really good experience. So I am up for that. I'm up for that. It's not as a challenge even. I am up for the experience and new discoveries, because I think that's what's important. You know, to taste. That's a whole reason you taste wine, is to discover what you like and what you don't like. You know, and that's what's important. All right, this is really, it's growing. It's not growing on me. It's part of me now. So yeah, this is good. Is there any? So all right. So what are you guys tasting? What are you tasting, Ben?
Cherries and strawberries.
Yeah, and Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers.
You know,
I'm up for that.
I definitely taste that. But
I'm up for that. Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of the. I wouldn't.
But
have
it's
thought
not
of
a. It's
Somebody eats a lot of jelly.
Yeah.
for a guy who doesn't eat any sweets.
I never would have said, I couldn't have put that together, but that is 100% taste.
Well,
This
this is where Gabe is so talented.
so
He can
awesome.
take a grape that a lot of people don't have a lot of respect for, like Steuben, and make a really premium wine with it. I mean, not everybody can do that, and he's really good at. This is one of the many dimensions of his skill set that shows when you can take a grape that has been, marginalized by some folks and go make a wine like that out of it. It's really a lot of talent.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talent.
To that point, is there a specific challenge the three of you have come into with making wine that you've enjoyed in talking about taking a wine that is known for something else and turning it into something completely different? Is there a challenge that you look forward to, something that you've come across that really has kind of set winemaking on a different level for you?
That's another 3 podcasts, I think.
That is.
Wow, that is
Just
like
coming
one,
in with the questions.
Yeah,
today.
that was that was one
I
expansive
woke up early. I made notes. I'm ready to
How do
go.
we simplify that answer?
I think Zach wants to lead this one.
Got thrown under the bus on that.
All right, so I'm going to throw out a guess that nobody in this group who makes wine, so that's 3 of you, nobody in this group makes wine that doesn't make a wine that they like. Wait a minute. They don't make a wine that they don't like. So you like all the wines that you make for the most part.
Well, if you are a vintner winemaker, you love what you do,
Right.
and you are very harsh in everything that you do. I don't think you're gonna produce something that just to sell. It's very difficult, and
Right.
I don't think it's on anybody's. Yes, you want something to like really, be out there, but somehow you're gonna find your way to tweak that and make it your own. And
Yeah.
so I wouldn't say that.
So it's the merge of customer satisfaction versus not job satisfaction, but producing a good wine. You want to make sure that you produce good wine that everybody likes. So, it's that palate that you have to maintain. And so you actually have to have, as a vintner, you have to have a palate.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
but you have to have it all the time, because like the beauty of what we do and like the way we get to taste wine is like all throughout the whole process, right at fermentation, a couple months old, 6 months old, a year old, 2 years old, reserves 8 years, and they change. 1 week I'll be out there and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, man, this stuff isn't tasting that good, like what's wrong? What's going on? And a month later, I'm like, this is the best batch of wine we've ever made.
Right.
And it's the same exact fruit in the same exact vessel. It just, the wine evolves and it changes, and you get to experience every bit of that throughout the process. So like, even if you don't have the right tasting notes, like Ben and I struggle with sometimes, or like, people are like, what do you taste? I'm like, it tastes like wine to me. I can't tell you.
it tastes like good
I
wine.
can't tell you it has this flavor, but I can tell you that I saw the change throughout the process. And if there was anything like out of the ordinary that I wasn't crazy about,
Right.
I'd try to address that and, get it going in the direction that I want to. And like, that's the beauty of being a winemaker. You get to experience like a piece of art, like from
Right?
beginning to end.
It really is. It is. There's an art to it. That's absolutely true. We should Who's
Let's
next?
open this rosé. This rosé is a kick-ass
So let's do.
rosé.
I'll do
Carmine?
both of them, and I'll talk about the Carmine.
Which one are we doing first?
We'll do a
We're doing-
rosé.
Okay, we're doing the rosé
We'll
first.
do a
Carmine
rosé and a
rosé.
red, and then that'll lead us.
I think Zach wants to do them side by side.
So we're getting a bonus. We were only supposed to have 6 wines. We're going to have 7
Yeah, but I
today.
got to talk about the rosé if I'm going to talk about the red Carmine. You got to hear.
Right? Because they're are
I'll
they
you
condense
have to.
I'll condense it into one.
same grape?
Carmine in
Same
there.
grape.
Same grape?
Rosé
Okay.
in there.
All right, so this is the Carmine grape, right?
Yes, sir. So this is the Carmine. This grape came to us as a mistake in our vineyard.
Happy accident.
Yeah, I'll briefly go over
Happy
that. You know, we got some red grapes that came in as red grapes in a white block of Chardonnay, and called it the mystery grape for a while, made wine out of it, and then narrowed it down with the nursery. And it happens to be this grape Carmine that was, a hybrid vinifera developed in a UC Davis lab to help promote better growth for vinifera reds in our region. It's a little more cold hardy than your Merlot and your Cab. The cross of the grape itself is Cabernet Sauvignon and Carignan, and then they cross that again with Merlot. So it's got a little bit of your Merlot characteristics, a little bit of your Cabernet characteristics. We've been able to do everything with it. So we make a rosé out of it. This rosé is full cluster pressed. This is the color that it comes out right out of the grapes. No skin exposure or anything.
No skin exposure.
No skin exposure. And it's really just made a very balanced rosé for us. And we just started doing this in the last 2 years, because the first 5-6 years we were making wine out of it, we made the red. And the red is kind of like what Ben's going to bring out, like a Petit Verdot, very inky, dark in color.
It's really dark.
And it's very silky, smooth. Yeah, it'll stain your hands.
Yeah.
You can't even see through it.
clothing.
Yeah.
So most people that were familiar with Carmine in the past used it for blending. It was a great way to add color to your wine. It's very silky, smooth, like in its body and mouthfeel. And like I said earlier in the beginning, we didn't have enough fruit to do blends, so I made everything in straight up varieties, and we started making a straight up Carmine, and it's been a big hit. So, and we're able to do everything with it. So
Oh
we
my
do a
gosh.
full cluster rosé with it. We do an aged red with it. We're doing a pet nat with it, which is a form of sparkling. We can go into it another time. We're doing a natural ferment red with it, just letting the natural yeast and stuff go through. There's a whole market for that now. We've been kind of doing everything with this grape. We love it. It grows like a Merlot. It crops like a Cab and a Merlot, and we love everything about it. So.
Sad question. Is this where you started with the white Barracuda?
No, that was Barbera.
That was Barbera.
Yeah, we made a white.
Oh, that's a different.
You
love
couldn't-
that name.
You couldn't make a white out of this. This actually doesn't have as much color as some years, but if you let this sit on the skins for
Yeah.
2 hours,
yeah.
it looks like a Pinot Noir.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah,
You
exactly.
got to get it off immediately. But yeah, we made a white Barbera that year, and that was the Barracuda.
So people don't realize how much the skin plays a part in different wines.
Oh, yeah.
And to say that there's no skin involvement and to still have it to still have it
exact
look
grape
like
right there,
yeah, and it's the same grape.
Well, and
And-
that's you can make a white wine out of any red grape if there isn't enough, color in the grape itself coming right off. This one has a little bit of red tint to it, when you press it out. But like Cab Franc, you can make that look as like a regular white wine, But if you put an hour or two of skin on
Guy
it,
knows about it?
yeah.
I do.
You put an hour or two of skin on it, you get a little
Yeah.
pink
Yeah.
flavor, and in a couple days it's red, and
Yeah.
it's like those skins are what does all of your coloring in the wine.
Right, and then so this is the difference between skin and no skin right here, and this is really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
and this was 2019 fruit, so I will say that this is on the heavier end of the spectrum for our reds. 18 was the lowest end. We had a lot of rain that year. 19 was very dry, very high sugars and stuff. And normally we're kind of right in the middle of that. But I wanted these guys to try the 19 because these things are luscious and bold.
Phenomenal.
What oak are you using here?
What's that?
What oak?
So the oak, everything, I can't tell you exactly based on like this vintage without like looking back and then.
Is that a secret, or you just?
No, just so
He could tell you, but he'd have to drown you in a barrel of wine.
we basically do everything the
What
same.
a way to go! I know. Sorry.
We do everything the same. We do a combination of new oak and neutral oak. Neutral oak is a barrel that has lost its oak flavoring and is still a great storage device that
Yeah.
allows a little natural breathing, a little natural oxidation. So we do French oak, American oak, new oak, and neutral oak, and a little combination of all of it, and it all gets blended together and kind of gives you a nice profile. So this stuff was aged 1 year in the barrel, and we have enough barrels now that we're trying to do that new oak, old oak, and we're getting closer to some of our batches having 2 years in the barrel, which is
Oof.
really giving some.
That's a lot of flavor.
Yeah, but it's not too much. The neutral oak is
It's a neutral, okay.
is the
You're right.
base.
You're right.
There's just a little bit of
No.
new, which is great for your pocket because putting brand new oak on everything every year,
Right, it's
you
so
wouldn't make
expensive.
any money.
People don't realize when you have to change out your barrels every year how expensive
Well,
that
but that also gets reflected in the price.
Yeah.
When you do that.
is. Yeah,
It's tough.
it's really hard.
You get to pay for that, Gary.
I was gonna say.
I feel like I do actually.
Yeah.
I feel like I do.
Pass it right along.
Yeah, I may have a wine subscription here and there.
I have to say, between both of them, and I appreciate you bringing a rosé
This is
and
a
a red.
yeah, nice
do the-
comparison.
Do the comparison. It's something you should do at home too. But the rosé is just straight watermelons to me, and it's just like
Ooh.
it makes me salad. Great finish. On the red, it doesn't happen. I mean, you do have some finish that reminds me of the rosé, but it's just blackcurrant. Blackcurrant, good oak, well taken care of. All of the aromatic is like really
different.
nice.
So drastically different.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just-
for the viewers,
Well, and then
these
you
are
get it when we do our pet nat with it. We get this like it tastes like a strawberry starburst, you know,
Yeah.
just so bright and explosive, and like so you can kind of see each
Yeah.
little change in them all.
I mean, I tell Zach this all the time. If I was going in front of a bunch of skeptics that didn't think we could make great wine in Pennsylvania, I shit you not, this is the wine I would put in front of them. I think it's
Yeah.
arguably the best wine made in Pennsylvania right now.
It's
it's amazing.
crazy how yeah, and it's what's even crazier is the same grape and the differential
I guarantee
between the two.
if you put a Provençal label on this thing and said it was from Whispering Angel,
Yeah, it
I
was-
guarantee you,
Yeah.
you can fool them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's-
I appreciate that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, when I go to Zach,
Hopefully we can replicate it this
I mean,
next.
when I go to Zach's, that's what I buy every time.
Yeah, there you go.
The
There you go.
Carmine, the Carmine is actually my favorite.
Rosé.
Oh, I love the red too. Look, I'm not this. I mean, the red is great. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey man, I got into this thinking everybody drank reds, and guess what they drink? They drink white and rosé,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah.
that's-
Right,
that's
right.
where it's
Yeah.
at.
Well, we did talk about it. If you listen to our podcast on, our January 21st podcast where we talked about taste buds, you'll find that you'll understand why. Because it's about the taste buds and what people like, and if the heavy duty reds can be overwhelming to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, and they're great when with food and stuff like that, but not everybody's sitting around on a Saturday
Right.
eating ducks.
See,
So it's like
You don't do that on a Saturday night. You don't just sit down.
There's a quote right
we're out
there.
there, we're out there
Not-
shot some ducks and
bring
like
out
put
the
them on
duck
grill.
and
you know what I mean?
Red
Yeah,
wine.
you think of
Right.
your heavy red wines paired with this elegant steak or this duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like-
because
Well, that's the quote of the day right there.
that was the quote of the day. Not everyone is sitting around on a Saturday night eating duck.
Trying to eat French fries
love
from
it.
the food truck
Yeah,
and drink some
yeah.
good wine. you know?
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You got to be able to do that. that. And so yeah, and Will, that was like a mic drop right there. So it was, when you're looking at pairing food in particular, that is true. When you drink a bold red wine, there's not that many of them out there that are standalone. We talked earlier about standalone. All the whites were standalone.
Yeah.
And the rosés kind of the same, but the reds, they typically have to be paired with a food if you're, and it could be any food depending on, what the tastes are and how well the wine goes with them. But, it's one of those things where they're so bold.
Yeah.
It's like you just can't.
Yeah, like we're so proud of them, like that we've made them, and it tastes like, and it's this good as a red wine, but it's like people only want to drink a glass or two of that when they're sitting out back in the sun.
Right.
Yeah, see,
you can't. Like all the
personally,
rosés.
I go the opposite direction because I'm a huge whiskey drinker. Like I love a good glass of whiskey, and I can drink a whiskey regardless. It could be 90 degrees, sweating, and I can drink a glass of whiskey. So for me, the Carmine is one of my favorite wines I've ever had because it very much gives me that same feel.
Yeah.
Like I can crack a bottle of Carmine, and like I could be that person in 99-degree weather, sweating out back, drinking an entire bottle.
Not me. I'm 90.
And then
After 90, I have to have a nice dry.
And then you guys came out with the Carmine Rosé, and like for my wife, that was like her, like that's her go-to now. Like I drink the Carmine, she drinks the Carmine Rosé, and it's like a perfect balance.
Wow, there's marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, I know.
You got the Carmine,
it's crazy how it works
Carmine
out.
marriage. Okay,
Yeah.
so
You
that,
guys you got married out?
We got engaged drinking your bottle of Barbera.
hey, we should.
It was after the day that you guys did like a tasting at Terrain in Glen Mills.
Okay.
That night we went home, and that was the night we got engaged. And we opened a bottle of your Barbera, and we were drinking it, and that was the night we got engaged. All right. So it was like a very full. And then we met Gary there after we had our
You
daughter.
heard it here
was like
on our Tipsy Tagalongs.
like a very full circle moment to meet Gary there after having our
that was
daughter.
actually
And,
very
like,
fortuitous, I think. Yeah, because it started a whole
those
thing.
happy accidents that you have is really crazy.
And we're switching to save a little time. We're switching to the Petite Verdot by 1723. We may run over a little bit on the hour, but it's still going to be fun no matter how you look at it. Now, who's the one that's pouring heavy?
Yeah, I know. I realized.
Okay, I'm just throwing.
I realized
it out
as
there.
I was pouring.
Yeah, I'm just
I realized as I was.
I live here. I don't have to go anywhere.
right. He said earlier he's walking. So.
He's already taken a sip out of it.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. So, hey Cliff, how you doing, man? So this one is a Petite Verdot, and it's another bolder red wine. One of my favorites. Petite Verdot is one of my favorite wines, and it has a really nice nose. Yeah, you just.
Real nice nose and really smooth on the palate.
Yeah.
Which not all bold reds are smooth.
No.
That's true. Which is tougher because that's what makes them want to pair with food because it's really almost literally unpalatable to drink them independently. But this is definitely one. I've had this, by the fireplace at night on a cold winter's evening. A lot of fun.
Reading Henry David Thoreau.
Henry
I feel
David
like that
Thoreau.
just rolled into
It did.
the same thing.
We'll go with Thoreau.
We should do. I mean, I'm not a book reader. But like your favorite wine and book reading. What would be the good combination?
We could do a Tipsy Tagalong podcast.
We might have
for that.
to. Yeah.
We could do that.
As a big reader and a big drinker.
Yeah.
Responsible drinker.
So that was responsible. By the way, it was.
Follow that up.
It was a little tougher last week when we were at Brandywine Branch Distillery because obviously the proof on that is a lot heavier, and those pours were a little heavy. Thankfully,
gins,
I did have
whiskeys,
it. I had a DD on that one.
Smoked old fashioned. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. But these are really. There's a lot of good wines here. Thanks again for everybody showing up for this. But
we brought our
Ben,
best.
talk about.
Yeah, I'm not upset about this.
You brought our best. Well, and that's right. That's the point. People need to know what the best is, right?
That's something though that I think is very indicative of the region. Like I feel like you could bring, and I may be overstating this, but I feel like you could almost bring any wine, and it would be one of the best.
Yeah. So
I talk
all
about
of the
this-
ones that we've tried so far,
Yeah.
which is
I mean,
literally all of the wines that
I
we've
talk
tried.
about
So
this all the
7
time. When
wines.
people come in, out, like that don't live in the area, that have no idea about the area, I tell people this all the time. You will find a bad vineyard. There are bad winemakers. There aren't
Yeah.
bad wines. And
So-
that's something I've noticed
Yeah.
is like pretty much every winery that I've been to in the area, every vineyard I've been to in the area, I haven't found a bad one yet.
I'll focus on that. I'll focus on the last probably 10 years. This region has gone around that corner.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's finally, I mean, it's taking that long to really see what all the effort and all the passion and all the resource that's being put into to really showcase what this region has to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just need to give it a chance.
Yeah.
So
100%.
So at the risk of making you all egomaniacs, it has a lot to do with the winemakers.
Yes, 100%.
You know, and the attention that the
I think
winemakers
it's a
have.
combination to me. To me, it's a combination of what vineyards or vineyard manager,
Yeah.
winemakers, and then one of the most important is what it's selling the product for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everything it's finally coming together because before it was more like oriented to probably one way, and now everything's
Yeah.
coming together
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
really
before
get like
it
the
was
whole
like, oh,
experience.
let's get a good winemaker, and then it's like, oh, you gotta have good grapes.
It's crazy.
It is true. You
All right, two
cannot
good
make a
quotes
tomato-
right there.
He's been.
But that's where it's
Yeah.
like,
You're right. You're
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can make a bad wine out of good grapes, and you can't
Yeah.
make a good
That-
wine out of bad grapes. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the quote that I've based my
Yeah.
whole
Right.
business off of.
So true.
you know?
So true. It's difficult.
But I think what Gabe's saying is like we're getting a good median of good growers pairing up with good winemakers, whereas before it was like one was focusing on one or the other, and like it just wasn't coming through in
But
the way that it should be.
I think also the relationships that you guys build with each other. I mean, this right here to me,
Yeah.
the fact that you three are calling each other and talking to each other and helping each other, like that to me is not something you see in other regions that make wine.
Yeah.
I feel like
We are the underdogs.
yeah, and but you come together, and like that's the thing to me that like changes everything. Because if a vineyard has a crop that comes in and something's a little off, you have these people that you can talk to,
Right.
to adjust that or fix that, or someone's already been through it, so they know how to address it.
And I think that is an interesting dynamic of this area because, I've had the honor to work with a lot of the vintners in the area, and when you talk about the collaboration that happens, it's not normal.
Yeah.
In other areas, everybody else is their own little island.
Yeah.
No,
And so you're on your own.
Yeah.
So as a winery, you're on your own, and at that point you're like, okay, what am I doing next? What am I?
Right.
Did I do this right? Did I do that? So you're looking at it and going, okay, so how does that work? But in this case, you guys are all like collaborating and going back
Exactly.
and forth,
Yeah.
and back in the day there was borderland, and so when you talk about
God
Karen
bless.
and huh?
God bless.
Yeah,
I love them.
And
were great.
they were great people. I'm really sad that
hit us-
they
that
passed
hit us
on.
so hard.
But when you're looking at that collaboration, there was a lot of going back and forth and saying, okay, so what are you doing this year? What are you doing this year? And the openness to talk to each other is really big in how that works in the ultimate wine.
Yeah, it's very much to me like if one succeeds, they all succeed type of moment where you see a lot of these other regions that have been established and been around for so long that it's every man for themselves type.
Well, I agree with that. The only thing I'll say is not everybody is that way here. And these
That's
guys
true.
are,
No,
and that's
right.
what makes
That's
these
right.
guys special because not
Yeah.
everybody is that way here.
That's true.
And to some people's degree with that, this industry it takes every bit of you. So like there's just
Yeah.
some people that just
Yeah.
don't want to take the time
Yeah.
to do this because like they're just so busy on their
Yeah.
farm. I struggle with it. I don't get out enough. But like,
Yeah.
to some people's defense, like there's that, but yeah, there's some great people that want to collab, some people that don't, and then
yeah.
some people are just too busy all the time.
Yeah, fair
and,
enough.
and it does take a lot of time. I mean, people don't realize that when it's like all or nothing in the wine industry. I mean, you know, and I've been around long enough to know that you're just like going gangbusters, and then you're like, poof, and then you're like, 2 days later you're going gangbusters again.
It's that whole hurry up and wait process.
It's crazy how frenetic the wine industry can be if you're in the,
I'm glad that we have seasons.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's a farming thing,
Catch your
I
breath.
love wearing my Carhartt now.
right? So we got
November's great.
Carhartt. So that's next, right? Carhartts with Tipsy Tagalongs
Yeah,
on
Tipsy
it, right?
Tagalong branded Carhartt.
Yeah. So
I used to hate the winter.
yeah, but dang, the Carhartts are pretty nice in the winter. Anyway, so. What does anybody have anything?
Go back to this PV. You need to talk about this one.
So yeah, let's finish up with the PV. Petit Verdot for Petit PV.
I mean, Gabriel made it. He can talk about it. It's
So there you go. There's the collaboration.
Well, this is I think is a genuine image of what PA has to offer. I mean, we have Wayvines, and then we have 1723 on a red wine. I know that there are different varietals, right? But they're completely different.
Yeah.
The oak decisions on that wine compared to this one, what you want to enhance on that wine compared to this one, they're really, really unique. And I would say more like, if you want to taste wine, go to different wineries and see what's their column, what's their spinal, what they're thriving to do, and you'll see how unique they are in itself and great on itself. It's just they have different characteristics to offer. This wine to me, I love it. It has the oak is nice. It's way nuttier than what Wayvines is leather. This one is nutty. The fruit
I
is
would agree
there,
with that, yeah.
the acidity is there, color is there. It's harmonious. It represents where the area is being grown, which is what I've been, and I feel Ben as well, feel the same. He wants to make PA wine. We don't want to make California wines. We don't want to make,
Right. No, exactly.
This is what we are. And
Our Merlot will never taste like Napa Valley Merlot.
No.
Which, by the way,
there's absolutely
been there right after Sideways. And Sideways was like, oh, this Merlot is terrible, and you couldn't find it.
That's still in this region. Like
At the same time, though, you don't want a PA Merlot to taste like a Napa Valley Merlot.
You understand that.
That's true.
A lot of people
that's true.
don't, and that's where
the education.
That's where the new education is coming in.
Yeah, but I feel like it's coming along. I
we're
feel
getting
like
there.
it's coming along.
I feel like we're getting there.
All that market is saturated right now. We don't want to go there.
You don't.
Their wells are running dry. Gary and I were talking about sustainability on some podcast. I said, "Shit, Gary, talk about sustainability. I mean, when you make your neighbor's water go away and their well goes dry, that's as unsustainable as anything I've ever heard of."
100%.
They're rationing water and electricity.
How natural is it to irrigate a desert?
No, exactly.
Yeah, your neighbor's over there with a shotgun sticking up your nose, telling you to quit pumping their water.
Yeah.
That's
we don't have a problem with water here in the Mid-Atlantic.
It's a good comment. I was more worried about competing against Snoop Dogg and all those guys that have their wine. I'm like,
every time
Every time
a celebrity gets into wine, it's in California.
I think we've
every single time.
You know who we got to get on is Maynard Keenan. He's
right.
He's the singer of Tool, I think.
Yeah.
He does vineyards in Arizona, and apparently this dude's like. He runs them like we do. He does all the work. He isn't just like a guy doing it.
He's hands on. Hands on.
I agree. G-Mo and the Funky Bunch.
It's a new band name. I like that. All right. So is anybody want to say anything?
Yeah, final thought.
No, I'm good.
All right, we good?
Don't wore everybody out.
Hey, everybody, thank you for attending this Tipsy Tagalongs broadcast. So, we have American Wine Journey more often, and we are so thankful that you're part of this. And when you go through all of this, you can figure out which wines you like. And by the way, all 7 of those wines were phenomenal.
Basically, just try them all.
Yeah,
try
you gotta try. You gotta do a wine tasting to find out what works for you. So thank you for coming along. Next month, by the way, we'll be at Mural City Cellars.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're trying to get into some places later on this.
I hopefully Love City Brewing. In Northern Liberties, potentially. We'll see.
And Ben and I are going to bring up a whole series of how to pair wine with food and how to pair food with wine. So that duck,
You gotta
Duck and
that Zach was talking about earlier. We're gonna have a wine for that duck. So thanks everybody. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Until the next time, enjoy life, journey more often.
Tag along.
All right.